Comeback is in the cruise industry, which is beginning to chart a post-pandemic way forward. Carnival Cruise Line plans to resume some voyages from U.S. ports in August, shortly after a no-sail order from the CDC expires. Congress has launched an investigation into how Carnival responded to the coronavirus. And as Kris Van Cleave reports, Royal Caribbean faces its first lawsuit over the death of a crew member due to the virus.
The wrongful death lawsuit was filed on behalf of 27-year-old Pujioko, a housekeeping employee from Indonesia. The suit claims he contracted COVID-19 on Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas, getting sick only after passengers left the ship.
How prepared were the cruise lines for dealing with COVID-19?
It's very clear that the entire cruise industry dramatically mishandled the entirety of this outbreak, not only as it relates to passengers, but also as the crew members.
Maritime attorney Michael Winkleman represents the man's family.
I think had they taken the steps that pretty much every single person around the world was taking, I don't think he would be dead today. Had they implemented proper social distancing, quarantines, given proper masks to everybody, I think that Pujioko would still be alive today.
The roughly $53 billion cruise industry has been in dry dock since mid-March. After a number of highly publicized coronavirus outbreaks, polls show more than 1 in 5 Americans say it'll be a year or longer before they'd set foot on a cruise ship. But Carnival is hoping to restart service on 8 vessels from ports in Florida and Texas by late summer, saying it's submitted a plan to the Centers for Disease Control.
Are there people who actually want to get on a cruise ship right now?
The short answer is yes, absolutely.
Erin Florio from Condé Nast Travelers says bookings for cruises in 2021 appear strong, but there will be changes on board.
When they first get on board, there's going to be a lot of temperature checks. People might be denied boarding if they don't have proper medical notes. They're probably not going to be able to plate their own food anymore. Lots of things are not going to be shared that used to be shared.
But before those ships take on passengers, Congress has some questions. The chairman of the House Transportation Committee sent this letter to Carnival demanding information about its response to coronavirus. And there's another issue. More than 100 U.S. citizens working on cruise ships that cannot come home. The CDC won't allow them to disembark until cruise lines agree to a plan to get them home and quarantined.
Why can't you go home?
I don't know.
Cruise ship performer Ryan Driscoll has been essentially stranded at sea for 60 days. His ship hasn't seen passengers since mid-March.
And bottom line, you'd like to go home.
Yeah, I'd like to go home. Yes, of course. I'd like to be out of this room. I've been stuck in this box for far too long and have major cabin fever and miss my family.
Now, Royal Caribbean declined comment on the lawsuit, but says it has reached an agreement with the CDC to start bringing home its American crew members. That should start happening this week. Carnival says it will comply with the congressional investigation and is still working with the CDC on a plan to bring home Americans like Ryan. The CDC says it does not have enough information yet to know if the cruise line's plans to resume service are safe enough. Gail?
Boy, feeling for Ryan Driscoll and everybody else in his situation right now, Kris. But before you go, you sort of asked it in your piece. I was wondering the same thing. Is there a demand for people to go on a cruise ship at this time in summer? And who are these people? What are you hearing?
What we're hearing is that advanced bookings for 2021 are relatively strong. And you have to balance that with at least 10% of people in a recent survey said they will never get on a cruise ship ever again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the turnout that they have. Thank you, Kris Van Cleave.